Okay, I was asked to do a video on what I do about blisters and skincare for dancing. So we'll pull these booties off and we'll talk about it. I haven't been on point for a couple of weeks now. I've been working on calming this injury down in my left leg. If you watch any of my other videos from the summer, you'll know what I'm talking about. But things are feeling pretty good, so I'm hoping to be back on point tomorrow, actually. I have some lovely little blisters. I'll put the camera down in just a second and you will see what I'm talking about, but I wanted to show you some of the things that I use. So if I've got something that's really bad and just crazy and I need to put point shoes on, this is kind of weird, but I use jet glue. This is not jet glue, but I use the equivalent. This is just a different brand, but it's the same idea. The glue that we like to use on our point shoes to harden them up, you can put a little bit of that on, like if you have a cut or a blister with a piece of skin that's still on it. Don't put it directly on an open wound, but you can use it to kind of glue your blister back closed. I actually cut my finger while sewing point shoes the other day, and I needed to play the piano the next day for like 5 hours. So I put a titch of jet glue just right over that, and it feels kind of weird, but it closed the wound up just enough that it wasn't hurting anytime I needed to do something with this hand. So if you're really in a tight spot and you want to glue a wound closed, use this. But once again, if the top of the blister is ripped off or if it's any kind of open wound, don't do that. This stuff I pointed out in my other video is, I'm not exactly sure, but it's supposed to help with inflammation without just being a menthol, without just having a lot of mint or something like that in it. And I found it, it works really nice, and it's a really good lubricant too if you need to rub something out. It helps with self-massage. So pretty good stuff. This is Arnicare gel, that's the brand. I'm sure you can find stuff with similar ingredients. Alcohol, carbomer, I don't know what that is, and sodium hydroxide. I'm sure you can find something similar. Another product is Tiger Balm, but I don't know where mine is. I have this feeling that I pulled it out of my bag and lent it to someone and that I didn't get it back. It usually comes in a small hexagonal glass jar, and you can get a milder white colored gel. I always get the bright red mega menthol extra strength Tiger Balm. It's really good, again, as a lubricant. And that's another one, not for open wounds, but I have used it in a tight situation when I needed to get on stage and I had this blister that had just become a lesion on my foot. I put a tiny bit of Tiger Balm on it just to numb everything, wrapped it in some tape, and then stuffed my foot in my shoe and got on stage and smiled, and it was great. So I actually don't have a super complicated regime. Band-aids are okay, but you want to make sure that you angle them in such a way that the edge of the Band-aid isn't poking into your other foot. I've actually given myself another blister from a Band-aid. The new blister ended up on the next toe over because I had a Band-aid badly placed. About this a little bit too. I haven't actually used it, but I'm really excited to. This is, I guess I'm talking more about like skin and muscle care than blister care, but I'm just showing you some stuff that I like. I've heard really good stuff about horse liniment. This I think is for larger muscle groups, so when your calves are just killing you after the first week of a summer intensive, put a little bit of this on. This does function by mostly being a menthol. It's just really, really powerful. The smell and just how it feels on the skin, the tingling sensation. Trying to find the active ingredients, but it just has all these instructions about how to use it on your horse. Oh, okay, active ingredients. Menthol, chlorolinol. I'm married to a chemist, but I'm not very good at chemistry myself. Iodine, and then inactive ingredients are absinthium oil, blue 1, so it must be blue. It's blue. It smells good too. It smells like oranges. It smells like oranges that grew up in a mint field. So yeah, this is good stuff. But again, I think I would say don't put on any open wounds. Okay, so this next one needs a little bit of a disclaimer. I am not an essential oils like promoter. I am 99% convinced that 99% of essential oils simply have a placebo effect. You think that something will happen So you use the oil and then you act as if the thing is going to happen, and then it happens. I love lavender. I've been told that lavender has a calming effect, so I put a little bit of lavender on the back of my neck or wherever it says to on the bottle, and then because I'm expecting to be calm, I think I'm calm. I think that's how 99% of essential oils work. I don't want to start a controversy. Like I just said, I'm not a chemist. I'm not an expert. I do not do multi-level marketing schemes. That is not for me. However, I do have a dealer, and I do have frankincense. I don't know if this is going to focus very well. I have no adherence to any particular brand of essential oils. I could not care less. This bottle did cost about $70, so if you can get it from someone else cheaper while making sure that it really is frankincense, that's really great. You need very, very little of this. So literally what I'll do is, even just the cap has a little bit on it from being close to this. I will take that and I will tap that onto an open wound. And this is mild enough. It can go right onto a wound. And like I said, I don't know if it's a placebo, but I'm very, very sure that this very much speeds how quickly an open wound will heal, how quickly it will cover and new skin will start to form. I almost don't even care if it doesn't actually work. If I think it works, it's going to make me feel better putting it on. This was a gift. I didn't buy it for myself, and it's still mostly full. You don't need a lot. Like I said, just a little bit of drop, and then you put it on there. This is safe for open wounds. It's safe to put it on and then let it be out in the air. It's also safe to put it on something and then cover it. So if you have something you want to put a band-aid on, there are other things that you shouldn't cover. If you shouldn't put them on the wound and then cover them. The product needs to stay out in the open air. That's not the case with this. You can do anything you want. Do whatever you would normally do for a blister and add this in, and then just tell yourself that it's going to make it heal faster, and maybe it will. I don't know if it's true or not, but it also smells really good and I really like it. So let's take a look down at my feeties. We'll just do one here. Oops. So I usually get blisters. I know my feet look really dirty, but I have been running around outside because I'm a little farm girl when I come back to my parents' house. And I also have some really crazy sunburning. I have sandals with stripes that go this way. So my feet don't look the cleanest, but a lot of it is just my sunburn. I have a giant bag here full of Band-Aids. And like I was saying, you want to make sure that if you do wrap a Band-Aid around, you have the edges, so that if I had a Band-Aid here, the edge wouldn't be rubbing onto my other toe. I also have tape. And with tape, you want to make sure that you don't get it on too thick. So I usually get blisters on the tops of my toes here. You can see all my little knobs there. I don't really get them here on the outside, and once in a while, depending on the shoe, I will get them out here. So you don't want to put on tape so thick that then you don't fit in your shoe. So a smart application of a little bit of tape is a really good idea. So let's say this third toe of mine has been getting a lot of abuse lately. I would do something like maybe put this guy on. This is really, really mild and will relieve a little bit of the pain. Or I will put a little bit of frankincense on. If it has started to split but the blister hasn't opened all the way, I can seal it, reseal it with just a little bit of this. Make sure not to get it inside the wound. And then start over here. And this is something all dancers have to learn, to kind of keep their tape straight while getting it in between their toes. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of lay stuff down and make sure that there's nothing inside my point shoe that will be digging around or digging in. I could even take scissors and trim that off if I wanted, or just make sure it's laying down like that. So I've seen dancers do this for each one of their toes if they've got a long rehearsal day, or if you just need to do it for that one toe that seems to just be in a bad place in a particular pair of shoes. Thank you so much for watching. This video was a requested video by someone who was actually watching one of my fasting videos. The name Butter was in the username. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I will shout you out in the comments. But I really appreciate when someone says, hey, please do a video on. I mean, like all YouTubers, we want to know what the heck it is you even want from us. And this YouTube channel is so many random things. So it helps me out if you tell me what you would like to see more of. If I'm not an expert in something, I'll probably say, oh, I'm not an expert in that, and then I won't do it. But if it's something that I've had a little bit of experience with, at the very least I can give you my take on it. So hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you later.